Please. Please, I can't breathe. Please, man. Please, somebody help me.
What you just heard were the words of George Floyd, a black father, son, family man, and as his family called him, a gentle giant. These were his last words in his final moments of life. May he rest in power. This is not the first instance in which a black man shouted to a police officer that he cannot breathe, and the police officer proceeded to apply more pressure onto their neck. On the night of September 15th, 1983, Michael Stewart, a young graffiti artist who had just left the Pyramid Club on the Lower East Side of Manhattan, was spotted by the New York City Transit Police at the First Avenue subway station doing graffiti on the wall with a magic marker. The cops placed him under arrest. Moments later, witnesses recalled the police throwing Michael on the ground and beating him in handcuffs while exiting the station. Stewart had severe bruising and brain damage. The cops reported that he fell. He died 13 days later in a New York City hospital from asphyxiation caused by the strong force and weight put on his neck. This was the same cause of George Floyd's death. And for your information, the all-white jury found the officers not guilty. Michael Stewart's death strongly affected and impacted artist Jean-Michel Basquiat. They had so many similarities. Basquiat started out as a graffiti artist, often writing phrases on random walls and in subway stations, just like Stewart. He often told his colleagues and friends, "It could have been me. It could have been me."
Graffiti defacing our public and private walls. They're all in the same area of destroying our lifestyle and making it difficult to enjoy life, and I think has to be responded to.
Responded to? What does he mean responded to? Basquiat picked up on the same thing. He even used Koch's own word, defacement, as the title of his artwork that captures the death of Michael Stewart. Basquiat created this drawing days after Stewart's death on the drywall of Keith Haring's studio, another famous contemporary artist of that time, and Basquiat's friend. In the painting, the black shadow can be seen to portray Michael Stewart and any other black individual at the hands of police brutality. It also ties in with the fact that it can be any black person in general. Author of How Art Can Be Thought, Alan deSouza, questions art's roles in society's issues such as racism and police brutality. He asks, what does art do? Should art respond to the present? Perhaps we now expect art to respond and prioritize the response above the criteria. We see Basquiat do this. He prioritizes the response over the criteria. He's not caring what are the right angles or will this sell, but he is simply responding to Stewart's death and even his own emotions. This drawing was not even meant to be publicly viewed. It was made in private, on the drywall. It was not even showcased until 2019 at the Guggenheim Museum in New York City. It was personal to Basquiat, showing his true emotions and expressions, almost like a diary entry, not meant to be seen. In deSouza's last chapter, he provides his own explanation on the term emotion. He discusses how artworks are the physical expression and representation of the artist's emotions and feelings. He states, artworks are the only commodities that venerate the suffering of their producers. deSouza and Basquiat are both people of color affected and oppressed by the dehumanizing and disgusting construct known as racism. Today, we see artists are taking their emotions and frustrations to the streets. We are out here protesting and fighting for what is right. We are fed up. Rest in peace, Breonna Taylor. Rest in peace, George Floyd. Rest in peace, Michael Stewart. Black Lives Matter.